I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now, what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
Oh, give me fucking truth, baby! Come on! Let's go!
How have I been this successful in life?
Welcome to this week's edition of the MMA Analysis Podcast. I am your host, Lance Official. I've been out, I think, the last few shows. We had an off week, so nice to be back, talk to you guys. No cast. Cast is gone, so that's a lot better than last time I talked to you guys. So how are you guys doing?
Loving life.
Yeah?
You sound very enthused, Brad.
Good.
I mean,
It is cottage season.
Yeah, I was at the cottage a couple weekends ago, going back for a week at next month. So yeah, it's a good time. It's been like 30-something degrees here every day for the past week.
Is that hot?
The good kind of 30. That's like 80-something.
85.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? 86?
Yeah.
It was 86 there? It gets that hot there?
It was hotter than that. I think it probably broke 90. It was like 32 or 33 today.
Dude, it was like that for like 2 weeks here.
That's hotter. That's way hotter than here.
Our trees didn't light on fire when it got that hot here.
Yes.
Jeez. I didn't know it got that hot where you live.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
We're gonna have to
we
rebuild all our igloos. It's terrible.
Next week's gonna be nuts. It's supposed to get up to like 95 already.
Gross.
But it's different there. When it's 95 here, it feels like 110. So the humidity in Nashville, not so great. Did you guys celebrate the American holiday, Memorial Day?
We celebrate Victoria Day the week prior.
Victoria Day. What is that?
Victoria Day.
For the Queen.
For Queen Victoria.
You guys still got a queen over there?
And we've got a king now, actually.
Got a king.
Yeah. Short king. No, I think he's. I don't think he's short. I think he's tall and gangly and awkward. And
he's really old, though.
Inbred and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
He looks like he could die soon, too, though.
Oh, yeah. We hope so.
I wouldn't be surprised.
A couple of years. Well,
eventually, we'll tear off the yoke of the monarchy, and I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
It makes zero sense, especially as an American. We just, even when you explain it to us, we don't understand.
Hey, we burned down your guys' White House twice, so don't talk shit to us again, or we'll do it a third time.
We went to Atlanta for Memorial Day. It was fun. Went to a Braves game.
Did they do like
they lost
like a ceremonial bombing or anything like that for Memorial Day? You know?
No, just some singing, and then kids ran the bases after the game. I hit the over. I bet the over because I wanted action while I was there, and the Braves scored 7 runs in the first, which was nice.
There you go. Beers were on you. Seltzers, maybe.
I didn't drink any when we were there. I just can't get down for those $12 beers.
Wow.
$12.
Yeah, that's fair.
I had drank the day before. We had a bunch of people over at our friend's house we were staying at, which was fun. But yeah, it was good. And I hit golf balls today for the first time since September, and it didn't hurt too bad. So that was good. Because I started my therapy like a week ago. Because I just got the cast off 2 weeks ago after 6 weeks in the cast. And they told me it'd be 6 to 8 weeks of therapy. So I had my first therapy session last week, and I passed every single test, and they canceled the rest of my therapy because I'm so awesome. I know. Too good. I was sending Trump memes. Like, no one's ever had a recovery like this. This is the best recovery ever.
This is actually true.
People are saying.
Yeah, it's big. It's bigly. It's real good. It's the best. It's the best recovery anyone's ever seen. I've never seen a bone heal so well. It's amazing. So yeah, I hit some golf balls. I got 4 rounds of golf in the books in 7 days to see if my thumb falls off. They were like, take it slow though. And I was like, all right.
I'm not
4 rounds of golf in 7 days.
Is it your top hand or bottom hand?
It's my left.
And are you a lefty or a righty?
Righty.
Yeah. All right. So that's your left. Oh.
This is the surgically repaired.
Do you swap them for putting though? Are you
No.
switch? No. You're right.
Just a standard putter. Though sometimes I dabble with the claw if I'm not feeling it. You ever clawed it up?
Just white
The
claw.
overhand. The overhand.
What? You have a weird putting stroke? You do weird stuff?
No,
They don't make
but
putters that are tall enough for Sean, so he has to like reach down and do some weird shit. Probably.
that's not true because I have monkey arms, so it's actually easy for me to have.
The claw's not bad. It feels good sometimes. Get a little claw in, forces the lock. It's nice.
LR, they never get my jokes. They're too highbrow for these fellas.
Yes, very highbrow. That is your comedy.
Got some nooners though.
Nice.
It's nooner season. It's nice out. Have you had the high noon?
I've not.
So I'd never had it. I drink seltzers. I like seltzers. They're good. And I've always just had the regular seltzers or whatever. And I've never had high noons because I don't like vodka and it's vodka. And I don't like it. But I tried it one time. It's amazing. It's so much better than all the other seltzers. So if you have it in the Canada, suggest it.
I think we do. Do you guys get Cottage Springs down there? Is that a thing? No. Cottage Springs is very solid. They did tequila sodas this year for the first time.
Interesting.
Tremendous, absolutely tremendous.
We got some Labatt.
Yep. Whenever I go down to Buffalo, that's one of the featured beer. They've got like the Labatt Draft House beside the arena there, and Labatt's all the featured. Like we don't drink that shit up in Canada. What the fuck are you guys doing drinking it down here?
It's like in the U.S., we sell Foster's beer, Australian beer, and like no one in Australia
drinks it. Yeah.
Like they sell it at Outback.
LR was thinking you were a Bud Light guy.
You know, the whole funny thing with this Bud Light thing that I was surprised about the most, Bud Light was the #1 beer. Has any of these people tasted it? Bud Light has always been the worst beer.
Yeah, but it's Bud Light. It's just watered down. You can crush a bunch.
You drink Miller Lite because it tastes less shitty. Bud Light tastes like warm piss.
If I'm going for like the watered down beer, I'm gonna go for like Michelob or something. The Ultras. Yeah.
I do like a good Target. Target's a solid store.
We had Target for a while, like a couple of years up in Canada.
Wasn't even a couple of years. Pretty sure it was like 6 months, and then they
it was
Target
great while it was here.
There's Target every road in the U.S.
Maybe they'll have to come back to Canada now.
Yeah. They're getting I didn't read that whole thing. I thought the Bud Light thing was stupid. Like the target market for Bud Light is extremely low IQ individuals who live in the South. So they decided to do that marketing campaign. I was offended as someone in sales, honestly. Like that was like someone who's worked in sales and marketing for a long time. I was offended. They thought that would be good. But anyway.
Yeah.
So we do not have a recap show to cover this week. So we can go right into this glorious card, I guess. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about before? No?
Not that I can think of. No.
We good?
More PFL guys popping for steroids is hilarious.
All of them.
They actually started testing, or they just got bad fucking steroid blockers, or what's going on there?
There's more. I think more people got like tested positive that tested clean. It's like everyone. It's great.
Champs, fucking yeah, that's awesome.
Who doesn't want steroids in MMA though?
Right. Like that's
why they generally make it like an IQ test, like when they don't do enhanced testing. So you have to be very stupid to piss dirty, and yet these guys are doing it.
Not smart. Anyway, all right, we will jump into this card. We'll probably have a quicker show tonight. This card is ass. It's not good. It's not a good card. A couple good fights, but it's pretty fucking terrible, which we're used to now. I mean, we're coming off a week break, which the week break, not much different than the card that we had 2 weeks ago. So,
wait, I thought it was a 2-week break.
I mean,
2-week break.
People are I saw a tweet today on like MMA Fighting, one of those stupid sites, that they were saying Mackenzie Dern versus Angela Hill was the fight of the month.
Ooh.
That was a completely one-sided fight, and Mackenzie Dern could have finished that fight 75 times and chose not to. And I don't think Angela Hill did a single thing. That's the fight of the month. I enjoyed Fluffy more.
That just shows you what we were working with in May.
Low bar.
Yeah.
And people are allowing themselves to get tricked into it too. They're like, "Oh yeah, fight of the month." No, fuck off. If that's the fight of the month, just cancel the whole month. Didn't happen.
Yeah, we're in trouble. I thought the Fluffy versus Edmund fight was better. Thought that
might have been beatdown of the month, that's for sure.
It was great. So
we'll slip in some more beer talk throughout the podcast. Don't you worry. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Look, we have different beers though besides domestic, so it might not be a good conversation.
Yeah. I'll have to. We'll have to. Ooh, nice.
That beer's called Cocaine.
Kokanee.
It does kind of look like that.
Does it have real cocaine in it? That is cocaine-y.
That's how it started.
It tastes
Do they have
cocaine-y.
is the little dude on the cans too, or is the little dude just on the bottle?
So I think
because
it's
he's always
just
in
the
a different
bottle.
spot. So
Yes.
yeah,
He's only on the
they
bottle.
just do it on the labels for the bottle, but that beer, they've got like a little Sasquatch dude that they hide on the label of the bottle in different spots every time. It's tremendous. It's like
That's
the
what counts for
Canadian
fun
version
up here, Lance. That's what
it's the
counts
Canadian
for
version
fun
of
up there.
Mickey's. You know how they have the little puzzles on the inside of the cap? Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have cocaine beer here though,
Well,
but it's good.
terrible.
2 for 1. All right, let's jump in here. Main event: Kai Kara France, Amir Albazi, co-main Alex Caceres, Daniel Pineda, 2023. Where the only good thing about this card is they did not put Andre Arlovski versus Dontel Mays in the main card. That's about the only real good thing here. But we'll jump right in. Light heavyweight division. Philippe wins. Maxime Grishin. Nushan.
Just a couple of World Series of Fighting PFL washouts, I think. But at least they're putting them on first and not gonna, torture us. So if you happen to only tune in a half an hour late, it wouldn't be the worst thing because it's probably going to decision. Grishin never fights, hasn't fought in over a year. It's like almost 15 months. I'll pick Linz, but this is low level garbage trash.
Yes. Brad, are you excited for the PFL washouts between a 37 and 39-year-old that kick us off for the card?
So excited that I'm going to send out multiple tweets during this fight. We'll definitely be tuning in. I'll pick Grishin just by doing like slightly more ugly kickboxing. But yeah, nah.
Yeah, I don't have much. What's the line on this thing? I don't even remember. I sometimes I don't hit. I don't remember.
Slight favorite. He's like minus 130.
Yeah, it makes sense. This is not a fight I'd be looking to bet. Plus, Grishin's a cheater. Obviously, he cheated to beat Thick Willie. So I think I'm going to pick Linz for that reason. He's looked a lot better since he got unfat, though. So maybe there's something.
Turns out that works. Who would have thought?
Yeah, weird. Being in shape for a sporting event is useful.
Huh.
Wouldn't have guessed it. All right.
If he was in PFL, he would have tested positive for sure.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why he got out. He saw the way the sands were swirling.
The testing was coming. He knew it was coming. All right. Devon Blackshear, Luan Lacerda. Nushan.
Don't have much here. Again, it's kind of tough to know what either of these guys are. I mean, I guess if you're watching a shit ton of regional stuff, you'd probably have a better idea. But both of these guys have lost to decent guys. my guess Lacerda is shown more activity. If he can keep it on the feet, I think he probably wins.
Brad.
That's it.
Good breakdown, Sean.
Tremendous breakdown, Sean.
Tremendous. I mean, it's a tremendous fight.
I like your passion.
I actually kind of like Blackshear's grappling game. I know that he ended up gassing out on super short notice against Zalal and got a draw there. And then ended up facing Basharat, who pretty damn good. I think that this is going to turn into a grappling match. Lacerda wants to sub people. So I think I'm going to go. I guess this is a slight upset. I mean, it's hard to tell these days, but I think I'm going to go with Blackshear here. Not sure if he ends up grabbing a sub at some point or just ends up winning a decision, but I'll side with him.
Subbing the sub guy.
Yeah, this is every time you see a couple good grapplers, and I actually have Blackshear's looked pretty good in his fight so far. His grappling was good. He's pretty slick. But is this going to be one of those fights where you have two good grapplers and we're going to see just the worst 15 minutes of striking? Probably.
Yep.
Probably what we're going to see. If this does go to the mat, I don't think there's this huge edge that you would see in the line from Lacerda when you look at the sub lines and just the overall line. And Blackshear's sub is like plus 900. And that seems a bit high for a guy that wins all of his fights for subs and has looked pretty good in the ground. I mean, these Brazilian black belts, like offensively, yeah, they're amazing. But they also sometimes love getting subbed and they give up pretty quick. We've seen that a lot. So I think if Blackshear can get something, like he could finish the guy on the ground. So if I bet anything in this fight, I'll probably take a little bit of a stab on Blackshear's sub at that plus 900 number. I think it's a bit inflated. All right, bantamweight division: Daniel Santos, Gianni Muñoz Jr. Brad, Sean.
No, Brad can go first.
Sean.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Muñoz is kind of a weird guy to figure out. It seems like he has decent skills, but him just getting absolutely smoked by Tony Gravely is kind of sketchy in hindsight. I thought he looked okay against Menes, even though he lost. I'm a bit surprised that this line is the way it is. I don't know. I'm probably gonna pick Muñoz. I think it's probably worth a small bet at the price that he's at. Yeah, I just don't really think the Willy Cat is that great. Am I wrong, Brett?
You're absolutely wrong. Love me some Willy Cat. This he's fun. He's gonna come in there. He'll get hit a little bit, but I don't think that Muñoz has any kind of power to put it on him. And I think he's just throws offense from just about every angle you can imagine, and something in there is going to get through on Muñoz. I guess Gravely kind of hits hard, but you don't really think of him as a power puncher, and that wasn't a great look for Muñoz. So I think that might be something to the body, because Willy Cat throws all that the spinning back kicks and all sorts of spinning shit, or he might just land a massive knee like he did to Castañeda and put him out. So I'm Willy Cat. I think Willy Cat gets it done. Don't know what the price is on that. It's basically even money, so not thrilled about it. But maybe I'll end up with the Willy Cat in a parlay with somebody later on.
Yeah, I like Santos here. Dubronk's training partner, blonde hair, the whole bit. That'd be worth it. I think he's got a big edge on the feet here, and he can play on the ground if he needs to, which is where Muñoz can try to get the fight. But I think on the feet, Santos has a big edge here, and he's just kind of a lunatic. He just brings a crazy pace. He's right in your face, very aggressive. So yeah, I like Santos here. I think at minus 200 or whatever, I think it's a good parlay piece. So I probably will have a little bit of Santos in a parlay. All right, women's strawweight: Elise Reed, Yinyu Frey. What a fight! You, Sean, do you have anything?
So bad.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I know we say, pick the dog. I don't think I can even pick Frey in this one. She lost to Demopoulos. She's lost to some very, very bad fighters. She's just not good. I'm not saying Reed is good. She looked okay in the first round against Lubumi, but they're both terrible. This is a low level fight on Invicta cards.
Brad?
The most shocking thing about this fight is that these two have a combined 4 wins in the UFC. I mean, they're like 4-8 or something like that in their UFC careers. But still hanging on to a job because everybody wants to fight. But just some real elite stuff. Apparently, this is the threesome bet of the week. Good luck with that. But I'm certainly staying away from this one. It seems like a good time for a dog walk, if I'm being honest.
Yep. I got absolutely nothing. I don't care. Same with this next fight. Heavyweight division. Andre Arlovski still fighting, still making like $350K a fight. Fighters are underpaid my ass. Look at Andre Arlovski. He hasn't put on 1 second of excitement in like his last 15 fights and makes more than pretty much everyone on every card that he fights on. It's absolutely tremendous. And
more than the rest of this card combined. Probably multiple times over.
It's probably close, him versus everyone on the card, honestly. That's not good.
I don't think it's close. I think
Jimmy Miller probably makes good money.
Who?
Jimmy Miller.
Okay, yeah. That's fair.
And then I bet France makes some money. He got up pretty high.
He's a flyweight. Come on.
I bet he makes some okay money.
Makes $100,000. So
Tim Elliott's been around for like 37 years. He probably makes 10 and 10.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, all right. You got anything here, Nushan?
Oh, this should be an absolute gross fight. I wonder how big of a fight contract did Arlovski sign, because with how cheap UFC is, I cannot believe that they have not punted him or his contract has run out at this point. He still gets wins, which is just fucking wild. Like, that's the state of the heavyweight division in 2023. He's coming. He obviously got finished last time very quickly, but 4 straight wins before that. That is amazing. Over 2.5 is like -200. That's crazy. Like I know Arlovski just always goes to decision, but man, he's getting old. He's getting punched more. Mays is terrible, but could he catch Arlovski? Yes. I don't have much faith in Arlovski finishing anybody at this point, so it's pretty much Don'Tale Mays inside the distance, I guess. Maybe that's a bit of a better angle. I don't know off the top. It's like 225. It's a terrible fight. I'm just grasping at straws to find bets on this card, but I guess I'll pick Mays to get Arlovski out there.
I'm trying to see how much France made in his last fight out of curiosity. But Brad,
they don't announce that shit anymore. Like
they do,
there's like
in the city.
Whenever they're in Vegas, which is like 90% of the cards now, they don't. And like a bunch of others, they followed it. Like it's actually rare when fight purses are announced these days. Like it's much more.
They did announce his fight with Garbrandt, which he made 140.
That's
70 and 70,
win, right?
Yeah, well, that's 70
no,
and 70.
I think he killed him, so I'm guessing he got a bonus.
50. So he's making 45 and 45, and then he got a 50K fucking knockout of the night bonus.
That's what I'm thinking.
Tremendous.
Oh man.
Brad, you got anything here?
I mean, the first instinct is obviously Arlovski by decision because it's Arlovski facing a terrible heavyweight. But when he goes
kind of clued into that.
yeah, it's plus 150 for that, and he's plus 120, plus 110 on the money line. So not playing that. If you're going the Don'Tale Mays route, look at the sub. I'm saying
sub.
Yep. I don't even know if he's ever subbed anybody.
I don't think he knows you're allowed to.
Arlovski is looking for ways out of fights these days. I don't think he's going to put himself in a bad enough position where he's going to take a bunch of shots because he's not about that life. You don't fight until you're 57 years old, getting knocked out a billion times early in your career if you take a bunch of shots. So I'm Don'Tale Mays sub if you're going to go in that direction. It's like plus 800, I think.
He does have a sub. It doesn't say what the sub was. It just says submission, verbal.
That's all you need.
Yeah, it's verbal, also known as he tapped his strikes.
Did you know his nickname is Lord Kong?
Lord Kong.
So I might have to throw a little. That's a good nickname.
So according to Tapology, Andrei Arlovski is still the 18th ranked heavyweight in the world.
Like I said, he's 4-1 in his last 5 in the UFC.
Yeah, but he probably lost all of those. But he probably lost all those in reality.
All that matters is what's on the record, Lance.
I remember people thinking he lost the
all of them. The Collier
all
fight.
Of them. It was by a thread in a lot of those.
Yeah, he hasn't won decisively.
Take another look, Sonny. It's going to happen again.
So I couldn't find what Jimmy Miller made recently, but in 2020 he was at 104 and 104, which that's shocking. They were paying him 208 to show.
Yeah, I was Arlovski. The last one that I saw was against Felipe Lins, and it was 325 was his base. But he's on one of those. I don't know if it's still like the old structured Strikeforce contract where it's not win and show.
Yeah,
he won that fight, but it just showed 325 for his pay.
That was from Strikeforce that he had that. Yeah, because I remember he had some contract that like it was like part of his contract had to stay when the UFC bought him. So he's on this basically lifetime contract till they cut him.
I guess.
He's 44. He's never gonna stop fighting. He doesn't get hurt. He's in nothing crazy. Like, good for him. For this fight. Mays, I think, is a guy who's going to be aggressive enough to beat Arlovski. And, yeah, he might tire out, but it's not like Arlovski's going to do anything. So I do think Mays could possibly get him early, beat him up a little bit, and Mays can keep the fight at, his pace because it's Arlovski. So he's not going to do anything except walk forward and not throw any punches. So I'm picking Mays here, but I'm not going to be betting anything. Hold Arlovski. All right. John Castañeda, Mateus Mendonca. I don't know. You sure?
Yeah.
What? That's old. That's old news. Yeah, fake news, Lance.
I got old news. I was reading Wikipedia. Yeah, I don't remember seeing that name until right now.
It's now John Castañeda against Muñoz Gafurov.
Muñoz Gafurov.
I mean, is that gonna change your breakdown at all?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a fun fight. Like, both these guys are throw some pretty decent offense. Gafurov, he lost to Anheliger on the Contender Series, then got 2 good wins at LFA, good finishes. It should be a fun fight. Castañeda's obviously... I don't know if he has durability issues or he just gets hit too much. So it's hard to trust that guy, even though he's got pretty solid offense.
Brad.
I've actually seen Gafurov a couple times. He fought old Johnny fucking Lineker in ONE FC or ONE Championship or whatever they're calling themselves these days. I lost that fight because he was fighting John Lineker. But I know that he was originally signed to the UFC before the pandemic. And then there was some, like, he took a fight in another promotion or something stupid. Obviously, he can't read. So, he's very well suited for fighting. But I think he's a decently talented fighter. So I wouldn't be opposed to somebody who wants to take a little shot on Gafurov here, or Gafurov. Short notice is a little bit worrisome, but I don't know. I've never thought a whole lot of John Castañeda. So, yeah, we'll see if I get there. Probably not for this fight. It's not a strong lean or anything like that, but I think this is going to be competitive.
Yeah, Castañeda's not that great. I think everyone thought he was going to be okay, but he really just sucks. What's the line of this thing? I didn't look.
It's basically even. Castañeda's slight favorite.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be a pass. I'm probably still going to pick Castañeda, just the experience, and if what's his face is on short notice. I remember looking at this fight because I looked at all the fights like earlier today when I had some time, and I just read Wikipedia. I'm like Ron Burgundy when I'm reading the fights off. All right, lightweight division: Jamie Mullarkey, Naimov.
It's Naimov. These Russians aren't even trying anymore. They just put a name in front.
Naimov.
OV. Yeah, like fucking. Yeah, I don't know much about Naimov. I know he lost to a guy on Contender Series that I don't think is that good. Jamie Mullarkey is decent. Obviously, if you do hit him with something good, he will go down. But generally, he's a good fighter, well-rounded, can grapple, can strike if he needs to. I'm not playing this; it's a big number, but I think Mullarkey should put it on him.
Brad.
Yeah, another short notice one here, and you probably don't want to be short notice against Mullarkey because he'll get cracked a bunch in the first round, but then keep coming at you. And man, Naimov, just terrible last name. His nickname is Hillman. It's honestly like they just hit random on the old name generator. And they're like, sure, whatever.
It's creative player. You just fucking hit.
His first name is Muhammad John. Like, what?
Which one?
Are you Muslim? Are you Christian? Like, what's going on here? Make up your mind, dude. No faith in the guy who can't even come up with a real identity of his own.
Yeah, I'm taking Mullarkey here. I don't like Mullarkey since the robbery of Michael Johnson. I've hated him since, but I think his striking is good enough to get this done short notice. And yeah, he went from a massive dog to a massive fave, so that's got to be a boost in the confidence there too. So big win for Mullarkey already. All right, and then we move on to the main card. Abubakar Nurmagomedov versus Elizeu Dushku. Nushan.
Now the layoff is a bit concerning with Elizeu Dushku. Not having fought since 2021, but I think he's the better fighter. This Nurmagomedov is a fraud Medov. I know he's got a couple wins in the UFC, but he is still not that good. I think that just kind of shows how bad some of the fighters are that he's fought. Dos Santos is good. I think he can keep it on the feet, and if it's on the feet, he's going to be a lot better than shitty Nurmagomedov. So I'll be betting Elizeu Dushku.
Brad?
Yeah, certainly starting to creep up there in age. But this is a Russian who can't really strike, but also doesn't like to wrestle. Not the smartest fella that you've ever seen in your life. So I think this is going to mostly stay on the feet. Elizeu's shown pretty decent takedown defense through his entire UFC career. Not the greatest in the world, but it takes some effort to take him down. maybe it'll happen once or twice in this fight, but I don't think he's going to spend a lot of time on his back. And when they're on the feet, I think there's a significant advantage going his way. So going to end up having a little bet on the old Dushku. Basically even money here. Probably take it up to like minus 120 if it moves in that direction, but we'll wait until closer to fight day to actually place that one.
Yeah, on this one with the fellas here with Elizeu Dushku, Hollywood superstar. I think on the feet, he's just way better. He's more creative. He's got that weird capoeira style that's all over the place, but I think he's actually effective with it. He's been out for a little bit. He's getting old. He's getting up there in age, but I think this thing's going to be on the feet. I think his takedown defense is good enough to keep this standing, and I think on the feet, he's just the much better striker. I was surprised about this line being where it is, so I will be on him, and that is the consensus bet of the week.
Oh,
yay! We found one.
We're also so enthusiastic about it. We really sold it for the folks, you know?
This is a great card. I'm just here to support the fighters, and just real excited. Anyway, women's flyweight. Karine Silva versus Ketlin Souza. I have never heard of either of these ladies. Nushan? Main card, though. Main card.
Yeah,
sure.
Main card. The only reason I can remember Karine Silva is because of her hair. She's got a.
This card's on
hair.
ESPN.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's on. Oh yes, it is.
It's gotta
it is
be
on
on
ESPN.
Plus.
No, it's on ESPN.
What?
You know, is this telling? When's the contract expire?
They just extended it.
No, it's. I've read some articles.
You can't read. Don't lie.
Yeah, what are you talking about? I'm pretty sure they extended it.
Yeah, UFC, ESPN.
I think it's got like less than 2 years left. They extended it in 2000.
5 year 150 begins in 2019.
Yeah, so there's only there's not that much. There's a year and a half left.
No, but there's another article from 2022 that I'm reading. Anyway, I'll read through this.
It expires 2025.
Okay.
So I read the article that said they might look for multiple companies to work with for this next one.
Is that their way of saying that no company wants to take all of their dog shit that they're putting on lately?
No, it's the opposite. It would maximize because
they would make more money if they.
Yeah, you sign contracts with 4 or 5 different. So maybe they tell ESPN, "Hey, we'll give you this many cards plus the pay-per-views," and then they tell NBC with Peacock or whatever because there's still. When they did the contract in 2019, streaming was still less all the different options. Now they could sell part of it to Amazon Prime. They could sell part of it to YouTube, Google. They can sell part of it to Peacock, whatever. There's just
would they have to try harder? I guess that's the question. If they split it up and spread it around, would they have to try harder?
I would think because these contracts, they have to, if they're with new companies, like ESPN only cared about ESPN Plus signups. So it's like mission accomplished. And, having people go to it and order the pay-per-views and all that stuff. But for like a Peacock or Amazon Prime or any of those other ones, like if they sign it with an NBC or CBS, whatever it is, they'd have to prove out ratings for them to continue. Which obviously, if they're airing this giant pile of shit on ESPN, do you remember what the ESPN cards were when they first did the ESPN deal?
They're awesome.
They were good.
Amazing.
They were not as good as what they were the Fox cards.
But the Fox
cards.
Sorry, that's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of the Fox cards.
Yeah, and FS1.
Name some of those main cards. That was the shit.
The first UFC on ESPN card was free. Francis Ngannou versus Cain Velasquez.
It's not bad.
Kai Kara France versus Albazi. You see the difference here? Aljo was in the prelims of that card. So
you can't really judge that. It was a long time ago.
It's gotten a bit different. I mean, there's a third ESPN Plus card had Thiago Santos versus Jan Blachowicz. Like they used to actually put on, good cards. The first, so UFC on ESPN.
This was before they didn't have to do it at the Apex though.
But
they don't have to do it at the Apex now, and they still.
I know, but they're choosing to.
The first UFC on ESPN Plus card: Cejudo versus Dillashaw, Crowder versus Hardy, Gregor Gillespie, Joseph Benavidez, Glover Teixeira, Donald Cerrone. What do we get now? ESPN Plus cards now. It's just a bunch of Invicta people.
Lance, you don't know. Maybe Kareem Silva is going to be the next star.
It's possible.
5 years from now, when we're talking about the next rights deal, we'll be like, man, that Kareem Silva, she was on the main card of an ESPN. Wow, she's the GOAT now. The
second ESPN Plus card. Marlon Moraes versus Rafael Assunção. Jose Aldo versus Moicano. Damian Maia, Lyman Good. Dubronx, Tamer. Johnny Walker. That was an ESPN Plus card.
I know, and they obviously were pumping those up because they were the first couple and stuff like that. I think there was a fairly
that card was in between two pay-per-views.
I know.
So they had that card in between two pay-per-views. The pay-per-views were still pay-per-views. So why are the cards so bad?
Because they're in the Apex and they don't need to sell tickets.
Look at this card that we have now. And then the pay-per-view next week is complete and utter dog shit. And then the card after the pay-per-view is complete and utter dog shit.
But they always do that. They give Canada the shit cards. But once again, that UFC on ESPN, Vettori versus Cannonier, that's in the fucking Apex again.
Masvidal Till.
They don't give a fuck.
Masvidal Till was an ESPN Plus card.
I remember that. That was the start of.
Yeah, that one deserved to be on ESPN Plus. Nobody watches.
And then the second ESPN card,
George,
was headline Gaethje versus Barbosa.
Yeah.
That would be a pay-per-view now, main event.
Yeah.
All the ESPN Plus cards are amazing. I'm looking back. ESPN Plus 7. So we're a little bit down the contract now. Headlined by Overeem, co-main event Makhachev, third fight from the top, Sergey Pavlovich.
Yep.
That's a plus card. Now look where we are. Angela Hill. Now, so we went from those main events to Angela Hill versus Dern with a co-main.
And we only got that one because of what was supposed to be the main event there?
I don't remember.
It could have been worse.
No, I mean obviously not. But what the hell was the main event there?
And the fucking matchmaker was
on the Dern one?
Twitter the other day.
Oh, it was supposed to be Pennington versus Aldana too.
Case in point.
At least Dern is always exciting. I actually enjoy watching Dern fights. But Aldana Pennington, woo.
The matchmaker guy was on Twitter the other day being like, oh man, I don't remember the last time there was a bad card. It was like years ago.
It was yesterday. And then it's going to be this Saturday. Like, it's crazy. So, like, I'm actually excited for when they get new partners. Because let's say they get 3 or 4 more partners. Like, let's say they actually spread the wealth here. Maybe ESPN only does pay-per-views. Because they still get the ESPN Plus for people that want to buy pay-per-views. They have more built up, so they don't really care about subs as much as they used to. So maybe they get pay-per-views and they split it, and then UFC does 2 or 3 deals with different companies. Like, they'd have to try again.
Yep.
And eventually they're going to have to stop using the fucking Apex. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it does to them. They're making shit tons of money, and they don't have to travel.
But they make more money when they do shows. Like, have you seen the gates of the shows they started doing when they're doing more shows? They're enormous.
But then
they're coming here in a couple months.
Also have to put good fights on those cards. So
Not necessarily. I've been to a bunch of cards in Nashville. It's always just absolute dog shit, and they sell every seat.
Yeah, those are the best cheap fucking fight night cards in random cities where you
It's
can
coming.
get, like, good seats.
It's coming to Nashville in August.
Yeah, but
I will not be there.
The tickets are going to be outrageous because they're just absolutely outrageous for all cards right now.
Yeah, my son, not just cards, just sports have gotten insane. Like my son wants to go to the Bengals game. They're playing Titans. It was like almost $300 for nosebleeds.
Damn.
Like you take a family of 4 to a football game and sit in okay seats, it's like $1,500. It's crazy.
Enjoy your Sunday.
Man. Anyway, you guys got anything for Kareem Silva?
Silva's got cool hair. That's what I got.
I'm not even gonna look her up.
The only thing I thought about this fight is like, oh, Ketlin Vieira got married and changed her last name, but it's not. It's different. It's a different Ketlin.
Oh, it is a different.
Yeah, I just assumed it was the same Ketlin. I didn't know there was more than one Ketlin in the world. So
good for her.
What, for having the same name as another also bad fighter in the UFC?
I still watch every card, every fight. I do. If I'm doing something, I don't care.
You're a hardcore.
You are a hardcore.
I do not.
I watch every fight. I do. Like now, if I'm doing something, or the kid's at a game or something, and I miss a few fights, it's like whatever, I'll catch it. But like, I watch every fight, and I love that. I hate when we don't have fights. Like I like watching the fights. I do all that, but like, I don't get as excited anymore. I used to get excited for a card. Now it's like, well, I have to watch the UFC today, and I enjoy it for the most part. It's better than not watching it. That's always in my day. It's better than not watching it. But man, these cards, like anyone who's defending it this time, like I just read those, 6 or 7 cards. Those were all better cards than we've had in the last year on anything that wasn't pay-per-view. Not close.
I used to be like, all right, the first fight's starting at 4:30. I'm gonna make sure that I'm at the couch. I'm gonna take the dog out for a walk at 3:30. We're gonna get back. And now I'm just like, I start seeing like people tweeting about fights that are happening. I was like, oh, the fight started.
The only reason I know when they started is because I have to lock Tote Master.
I don't know.
Oh, Brad froze for a second. He's back.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean,
something about Tote Master. Yeah, I suck at Tote Master.
No, I said the only reason I know when they start is because I have to lock Tote Master.
You have to lock it. Yeah. I mean, there's sometimes like where I do miss a couple. If I look at the first 2 fights, let's say a fight card starts a little early, it's like 3 o'clock, 3:30. If the first 2 fights are like just 2 fights, not in a million years I care about, between 2 people I don't know, and they're like women's flyweight or whatever, I may or may not flip it on. I might just flip it on like 30 minutes after and just wait for the next one. It's tough. It's tough out there.
Especially in summer, like.
Yeah, summer's tough out here.
I'm gonna be outside. I'm gonna be drinking some beverages, whatever my beverage of choice is that day, and if it's not a good fight, I'm not coming back inside until the bugs start to get at me, or there's something decent on there.
Yeah, it's different in winter. There's fuck all to do, especially in the heart of winter here. So I mean, obviously the fights are going to be on. When it's summertime, we don't the longest summer, so it's
my stuff during the day. I got kids. We go to the pool. We during the day. I'm playing golf. It's during the day.
Yeah, but that's a mistake that you made. So.
True. Anyway, Tim Elliott, Victor. No, that's not. That changed too. No, it didn't. That was wrong. No, Victor Altamirano. God, I'm out of it right now. Anyway, you, Sean.
This is a tough one. You gotta play a little psychology in this one. Now, is Tim Elliott going to be extremely motivated to make some money and prove his ex, that piece of crap lady, wrong, or is he going to be over aggressive because he's going to take a bunch of rage out on Altamirano and get put in a bad position? Tim Elliott's a pretty good fighter. If he can fight to his ability, I think he wins this. It's just a bit scary knowing how his head is coming into this fight. I'll pick Elliott, but I don't think I'm touching him.
Bradley?
I think he's got a weight lifted off his shoulders. He's cut the old anchor loose. What was who's his wife? She's terrible.
She was some shitty fighter. I forget her name.
Yeah. She lost to the Catch a Beating.
Gina Mazzani
made a bunch of money when she lost to Catch a Beating, I think.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's you know what I hope happens is that he wins this fight. Because even if he gets super aggressive, I'm not sure that there's anybody in the UFC that's a worse wrestler than Victor Altamirano. So he'll still end up in top position at some point. But I hope he calls her out after the fight. Boom. Yeah. Get it going.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Or he can move up 3 weight classes and fight Kevin Kroom.
He's been cut several times over.
Yeah, he's not good enough.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it'd be a great guy for him to call out. A flyweight going up to like 155 or something, and beating up some redneck that slept with his wife. But right. Tim Elliott, parlay. I think he might be the one with Willie Cat. We'll see. But
mine's looking at the same thing, Brad.
Yeah, I'm liking that.
Yeah, I was looking at the same thing. I think the wrestling edge is massive here. And if Elliott does get in some awkward positions, because he does sometimes, he's good at getting out of awkward positions as well. Pretty good scrambler, but good wrestler. I think he'll be able to stay on top. I think on the feet, he can push the pace, get in his face, make sure he doesn't get hurt too bad, and then work in the wrestling. And I think Elliott's going to be way more active, on top more, and just I think he wins a pretty clear-cut decision here. I actually like minus 175, I think is fair. I was looking at him with Santos as well. So that's where we are. Lightweight division. Jimmy Miller, heroin addict. New shot.
Capoza mentioned it on Twitter. Jared Gordon got knocked out. How long ago was that? April 22nd. So like 5 weeks, 6 weeks. That's a pretty short amount of time. He was also 193 pounds when he got the call, which was 17 days before the fight. So I mean, it's not the shortest notice, but that's a lot of weight. He's gonna have to cut. So there's definitely some things going against him in this one. He is pretty durable. Jimmy Miller, it's a bit concerning. I don't know if he has 15 minutes in him at this point. Now, he might be good enough to win the first 2 rounds. He lost.
I mean, Alex Hernandez, the god. Look how strong that man is. I'm stronger than Jared Gordon. He's half heroin.
So, I guess Miller can probably win the first 2 rounds and then survive the third. I don't think Jared Gordon's, putting out that much offense in the third anyway. So I guess I could see him winning decision. Miller is old. He has had a million fights. But I don't think Jared Gordon's offense is going to be good enough to get him out of there. So the pick is definitely Jimmy fucking Miller. I'm still deciding if I want to mush you guys.
Brad?
I got to push back a little bit on the Jared Gordon is durable. He used all of his durability fighting off the death from the old addiction.
And he's been knocked out a ton.
Yeah, I was going to say, hasn't he been finished in literally all of his losses?
He's survived to the bell once in his career.
Oh, against Patty. That doesn't count.
Yeah, every other fight besides Patty, he has been finished. And that doesn't count Bobby Green headbutting him to death. On purpose and then complaining about it.
Jim Miller's going to kill this guy. He is going to finish the job that heroin started.
Ooh.
That's it. It's over for him. Jim Miller. What's Jim Miller round? You can get Jim Miller in round 1 at plus 700.
7 bills.
That is wild to me. That's haven't seen a Jim Miller round 1 like that since he was like a plus 300 against Rosie Roberts. But we're on Jim Miller. We're going to take the money line, and we're going to be on some of that round 1 as well. Jimmy fucking Miller, of course.
What's sub?
Sub is
6.
550 for Jimmy Miller sub, eh?
But he's been knocking dudes out
Cracking
lately.
fools, man.
Yeah.
He does what he wants.
Yeah.
Whatever he feels like. He beat the fuck out of Lyme disease.
That's
Does
right.
what he wants.
Brad, you gotta do the triple stack, the money line inside round 1. Come on.
There you go.
Probably.
I like Jimmy Miller here. I know he's getting up there in age, but he's seems a bit revitalized. I think even in the last fight against Alex Hernandez, who's a hard to deal with, was aside for Jim's style. And as everyone knows, I'm much bigger and stronger than Jim after our altercation in the Walgreens. Not a very strong man. Really impressive what he was able to
I love
accomplish.
that it's now an altercation.
Having any sort of strength. I mean, I almost beat on him right in the middle of Walgreens because he was so weak. This weak handshake. But I love Jimmy Miller. Absolutely love Jimmy Miller. Probably one of my all-time favorite fighters, honestly.
He's
I absolutely love the guy. His style, he's exciting, just puts on fun fights. And I think the wrestling here is the difference. Gordon is not a very good wrestler. Like, sometimes he gets some takedowns here and there, but he is not a very good wrestler. And I think Jim can get the takedowns here. And I think on the feet, Jim's striking has been good. Like, he's before the Hernandez fight, Jim was hurting guys. Like, he was looking good. And I think even at 39, I think you're getting a big plus number on Jim Miller versus a guy who was just knocked out, who's not very good anyway. And yeah, I think this is a bit of a steal here, especially guys who've been finishing the ground a lot. So yeah, I like Jim Miller. He's like plus 150, plus 160, some of that range. So that is going to be Munich. So that'll be the Munich bet of the week this week. Currently stands 715-12, but
12. That's a lot of losses. We need to pick it up.
I know 11 of those are currently in dispute.
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah, like fixes. Yeah, I've been talking to commissions. They're fixes, things like that. Mostly with Krause.
James Krause.
Yeah, Krause fights. Yeah.
Fucking guy. Yep. Shameless plug before we move on. Recorded a show, a rewatch show with our buddy Dan Tom the other day.
Saw that.
It was fun. Jim Miller was on that card from 2008.
Still got it. That was a long time ago.
Years.
Legend.
Yeah, I was just out of college.
That was
I'm
my
old
final
now.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, I graduated. I'm older. Am I older than you?
I think we're the same age.
How old are you?
Like I would have graduated by then in the year because it was later in the year. But yeah.
I'm 30. I'm 38.
I am turning 38 this year.
I turned 38 a couple months ago. So
yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I graduated high school 03.
I did, but then I stayed for the old victory lap.
You did an extra year of high school?
Yeah.
Huh. I figured it was college where you fell the year. But no, it's the high school?
Yeah.
I mean, high school was fun. I really enjoyed high school.
I loved high school. People
Yeah,
complain about it. Great
Pick
time.
on nerds. Like, there was all kinds of cool stuff you could do in high school. Enjoyed it. All right, let's move on now. Another guy, both these guys, honestly, two of the guys that I absolutely love watching. I'm cool with this co-main event, to be honest. Like, it's a shitty co-main event in terms of, like, status and importance, but Alex Caceres, Daniel Pineda is a pretty fucking awesome fight, and I'm actually really excited about this fight. Really, the last three fights in this card, it really does pick up for an excitement, not importance, still shitty, but excitement. So,
I would almost say last four. Like, Tim Elliott's usually pretty fun to watch.
I mean, you can go for it. Kareem Silva's like a big fucking deal. Like, some call her the second coming. She's the woman version of GSP, is what I've heard recently.
Ooh.
I don't know her style or if that makes any sense. I've never seen her or heard of her until today. All right, you got anything here, new Sean?
Like you said, should be a fun fight. Alex Caceres knocking out Julian Erosa last time out still perplexes me. Now, of course, we've seen Erosa. He went back to his old ways. That was always in his past, and now it's showing up again. But Caceres really doesn't finish people like that. Like usually, you know, he has dropped some people in his career, but usually goes for the sub, not just absolutely cleans out a guy. We're not getting any sweet Daniel Pineda like inside the distance lines anymore. They've kind of clued in that he's finish or bust because like his inside the distance like plus 180, barely any boost there. Caceres is probably the better fighter. I think Pineda's the better finisher. Could I see Pineda cracking Caceres and doing some damage down there? It's possible, but I'll probably take Bruce Leroy to win a decision.
Brad?
I think the smartest bet on this fight is probably what Sean just said. Caceres' decision is up at like plus 250, which I think is pretty damn inflated, considering he just, not considering, but because he just got that knockout against Erosa.
How is that a good bet?
What do you mean?
I think Pineda would shoot himself instead of going to a decision.
What are you talking about?
He does not go to decision ever.
Sure he does.
He hasn't been to the third round since 2016.
What are you talking about?
No. When he loses, it's you. I know Cub finished him, but when
you say Caceres by decision.
Yeah. So when Pineda loses, it's usually by decision. Caceres is not going to finish Pineda.
He's been finished 9 times.
you gotta look at it a little bit closer.
He had a little bit of a streak there in his first run in the UFC where he was losing by decision to a couple of guys. So
he's had 11 straight fights finished before the third round.
Okay. So that brings me
Bruce Leroy's offense is not really like that killer either, but
that brings
Pineda
me to
does like
the
to
bet
get out of there.
I am going to make on this fight, which is at the old Bet Online, and it is Daniel Pineda, no scorecards, plus 105. Because if somebody is getting a finish in this fight, it is going to be Daniel Pineda. I do not see him getting finished.
Or Alex Caceres. You know why Pineda gets finished in all his losses? The dude's like an all-time quitter.
Used to be. Early in his career, he was absolutely true. But no, that's still hanging around. That part of his reputation, the books haven't got past yet. They figured out that if he's winning, he's finishing the dude. They haven't figured out that he's actually a tougher out than you think he is.
I'm going to go the opposite direction of the decision. The under 2.5 is like minus 130 or so. Great. It's going to be Pineda knocking him out, Pineda getting a sub, Pineda quitting and getting subbed. Those are really the 3 options that I see. I don't think Caceres is going to knock him out with some crazy head kick or anything like that. Pineda, after about 7 minutes, is dead. I mean, this guy goes like this faster than maybe anyone in the UFC. And Caceres, he's going to take him down and submit him, and Pineda is going to be completely okay with it. So under 2.5, minus 130 or so. Really like that bet. I see one way or the other. This is not getting to a third round. I mean, these guys are both finishers. And on the flip side, they both love getting choked. So combined, they've been subbed 13 times, and they have 26 subs.
Caceres is absolutely not a finisher. Take it back. That's bullshit.
Right. He's not really a finisher, but if somebody serves it up, he'll take it.
He's finished 3 of his last 4. He's finishing dudes. He's a finish. When he gets in an advantageous position in the ground, he finishes.
Fair.
He's got a lot of subs. He went through that run where he got fucking boring. It was after they got that big fight with Yair. He kind of got boring for a while. Now he's back to like old Caceres. Anyway, under 2.5.
Fighting bad guys.
Boom. That too. Which Pineda is going to kill him or give up. It's simple. All right. Kai Kara France, Amir Albazi. Nishan.
Really good fight. We got one of those that, you know, matters and is a good fight. That's the going rate this time of year, I guess, or this just ESPN history right now. I'm a bit surprised by the line. I do think Albazi is very good, and he's needed a pretty decent step up. This is a very large step up. Kai Kara France looked good against Moreno. He just got caught. And that's coming from a guy that I think I was on Moreno or I was on the under. I can't remember. But Albazi is a very good grappler. If it's on the feet, I think Kai Kara France is going to light him up. Kai Kara France's takedown defenses look pretty damn good. He stopped 12 of 14 against Askarov, who is a very good wrestler for this division. Kai Kara France might get taken down, but his get-up game is pretty good, and he's going to make him work to get those takedowns. And when it's on the feet, he's got a fairly decent-sized edge. I'm going to bet Kai Kara France small. What I like more is the under 4.5. Not many books have it. A lot of them have the 3.5, but 4.5 gives you a little bit extra time. I think Albazi can possibly get Kai Kara France early, but if he doesn't, I think Kai Kara France takes over and gets him out of there before the bell.
Brad?
Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion on this fight. I think that Albazi has a pretty huge edge if it does get to the ground. But as Sean said, old Steve France has some decent takedown defense. I'm not sure how much of it is actually good takedown defense or good wrestling versus guys kind of being stupid against him. Like Askarov, he was able to stop a bunch of takedowns, but that dude was shooting from about 7 miles away and then just decided that he was going to throw some hands instead, which is all-time brain-dead stuff. I think I'm probably just passing on this one. I've previously picked Albazi as a breakthrough or breakout fighter of the year. So, you know, I want to see him fulfill that promise that I bestowed on him. I'm not sure that this is necessarily the greatest matchup for him to do it, but if he does get on top, I think that France is in some trouble in this spot. There have been guys that have been able to advance position and get him in some compromising spots, and I think he's got a little bit more finishing ability than some of those guys. So Albazi by sub is like almost plus 300. That's a little bit tempting, but that's really the only thing I'm looking at here.
Yeah, I like France here. Old Steve. I think he can keep this thing on the feet. His takedown defense is pretty good. I think if he gets taken down, he could be in a bit of trouble with Albazi, but I also don't see this being any sort of grappling match. I think this, you know, how Albazi is, I think he sees this as an opportunity to put his name out there. He's the main event, ESPN. I think he's going to come out just throwing hands. And I think on the feet, I think France is just a way better striker. He's more technical, just the faster fighter. I think Albazi's obviously got the power edge there, but I think as long as France can avoid that big shot and keep this in the feet, which I think it will be, I think he can pick him apart. I think this is France just taking over as each round goes by. Albazi going to be super dangerous early, and I think France is going to get better every round. And what is it, like minus 115, 120, somewhere around there, around to pick him? Is it still there? Minus 110 right now. Look at that. I like France here. I think France is still that guy. I think he got to he was earned to get to that title shot. He had some big wins. He beat a guy that no one was beating. And I think his takedown defense is good enough to keep this in the feet and pick him apart. So I do like France here, and I will have a bet on France. So that'll do it. Fast show. I think we did pretty good with some side talks and fun. So appreciate it. We'll be back next week for main event with Do Bronx. I assume everyone's going to turn the fights off after the Do Bronx Dariush fight. Everyone's
Is
like, "Oh
that
my
not a
god!"
main event?
Oh, something called Aldonis. I don't know.
Huh.
Sherdog could have been wrong. Who wins the
Yeah,
cup?
we need the Sean cup prediction.
What's the cup? What's the cup?
I hope
What's the cup?
Florida wins.
the hockey
even though
thing?
I hate the state of Florida, but I hope they win the cup because I have a shit ton of money on Goldie Bob to win the Conn Smythe. So that's what we're going with.
That's the big one. Is we got some? Did you get in back when it was like 3,500 or whatever?
No, but I told you to take a shot at it. Of course,
I certainly did. That will finally probably be the one that gets me sent away from the old Canby books that I'm still allowed to bet at.
Yeah.
The cup, huh?
The cup.
I mean, the NBA Finals is about to start. People are going to watch hockey. I find that hard to believe.
So the one thing I really have to give hockey shit about is the season starts before the NBA season. They play the exact same amount of regular season games, the exact same amount of playoff games, and yet the hockey finals start after the NBA finals.
When did the hockey finals start?
They start on Saturday.
Isn't that when the NBA Finals starts?
No, they start tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I didn't even look. I wake up, I look at what games are on today, and then I bet them.
More importantly, Game 3 of the NLL Finals, Saturday night, banger.
Can't wait.
Buffalo, Colorado. It's been a bloodbath so far.
Big match.
Trying to kill each other.
Really excited. Himmy Butler, though.
Who's that?
He is him. That's what the kids say. I heard about it.
That's
I hadn't
what
heard
they
the
say.
I hadn't heard the him thing until a few weeks ago, and I kind of like it.
He's him.
He
I feel like you
trademarked.
just take your cues from whatever Water Show is saying on Twitter. That's
No,
how I pick up on some of the lingo.
He is good at that, but no, I read an article that Jimmy Butler yesterday actually trademarked Himmy Butler, and he will be making a beverage drink and clothes. I don't
Clothes
know.
I get.
Probably
Beverage.
all of the above. Probably.
But I saw he trademarked Himmy Butler, and I enjoyed that because he's awesome. And the Celtics crying and Boston losing is always just
that's quite enjoyable.
it's
Yeah.
Especially because they come back
This-
from 3 and then it
it's
just gets
so great. It was just
This
perfect.
version of the Celtics
Script.
is like, I used to hate the Warriors, like the prime
I remember.
Draymond Warriors.
Everyone did.
I think I might like these Celtics even less than those guys. They lead the league in like, ref, that was your foul. Fuck off. Play basketball.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum.
Big golf tournament this weekend too, though. So
Are you gonna send us a winner? We got a winner?
I already sent him.
Yeah, I know, but do we have a winner?
Oh, maybe. Patty Ice. He loves this place.
All right.
Loves it. And then U.S. Open. U.S. Open's gonna be amazing. So thank you all for listening. We really appreciate it. We'll be back next week. Do Bronx Fight Week. Thanks, guys.